This is the weekly sales meeting for August 24th, 2025. My name is Chris Fleming. You can reach me at chris@cdmediaconsulting.com or go to our website at cdmediaconsulting.com. Today's topic, outrun the lion. In a competitive environment like selling, it's easy to get caught up in the competition. There's always another company selling something similar. There's always someone with a bigger client list, flashier marketing, or a shiny new toy. But comparing ourselves to others can be a dangerous distraction. It pulls our focus away from what matters. What matters is improving ourselves. What matters is developing our skills. And what matters is delivering more value to our clients than we did yesterday. When we chase the competition, we lose sight of our own progress. Former NFL head coach Bill Walsh once said, "The score takes care of itself." What he meant was the real game is played within. The truth is, we don't share the same goals, budgets, or cultures as our competitors. They may measure success in different ways. Some may care about market share. Others may focus on short-term revenue. Still, others may be padding numbers to look good to investors. But none of that should define how we operate. Our only fair comparison is who we were yesterday. In our sales environment, trust, consistency, and relationships matter. They matter more than one-off wins. It is here we recognize progress is personal. As basketball coach John Wooden put it, success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to become the best of which you are capable. One of the clearest reasons to focus inward is the difference in internal measurements. No two companies track performance in the same way. One company may count every touch point as a win. Another may only reward closed deals. One team may work 12 hours a day. Another values work-life balance. So how can we accurately compare ourselves to others when the measurements are completely different? It's like comparing a swimmer to a sprinter. Both are athletes, but they are built for different outcomes. In selling, the same rule applies. When we stop obsessing over external comparisons, we can begin to focus on what matters. Start competing only with our past selves. This is how we gain real insight into what works and what doesn't for our unique situation. This mindset also helps reduce stress and increase focus. Constantly looking at others can create anxiety and doubt. Psychologists call it the social comparison theory. It is the idea that we determine our own worth by comparing ourselves to others, but this often leads to frustration. Because we only see the highlight reel of someone else's performance. We don't see their struggles, setbacks, or the real costs behind their wins. According to the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, this is detrimental. There is a danger in upward comparison. When we look at someone we think is doing better, it can lower self-esteem and decrease motivation. But when we set personal benchmarks and track growth over time, it leads to higher levels of satisfaction. It results in better performance. There is the classic story of two hikers being chased by a lion. One hiker says, "We'll never outrun the lion." The other replies, "I don't have to outrun the lion. I only have to outrun you." The lion is going to eat, but it can't eat both hikers. This draws a parallel to our business. And while the lion is sure to have a meal, true survival doesn't come from outrunning others. It comes from learning, adapting, and becoming stronger than we were before. The lion, in our case, is not the competitor. It's market changes, buyer expectations, and internal stagnation. We don't outrun it by chasing others. We outrun it by outgrowing ourselves. Sales is a discipline built on improvement. Each call, each meeting, each proposal teaches us something. That is, if we are paying attention. When we compare our current effort to our past performance, we uncover patterns. We learn what works in our market, with our clients, using our resources. That's how we get better. That's how we build a system. As legendary Pittsburgh Steelers coach Chuck Noll said, "Champions are not made in the games. Champions are made in the preparation." Lasting success depends on the systems and habits we build, not the goals we set. Our system must be built on self-awareness and self-improvement. It should not be built on the envy of what others appear to be doing. Comparing ourselves to others also creates false pressure to follow trends that may not work. If a competitor is using a new software platform or marketing gimmick, it doesn't mean we should do it too. What if it doesn't fit our clients? What if it distracts from our core strengths? What if we abandon a winning formula because someone else made noise on social media? This kind of reactive thinking pulls us off course. Peter Drucker, one of the most respected business thinkers of the 20th century, said it this way. He said, efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. Competing with ourselves helps us focus on the right things. There's also a hidden danger in constantly trying to outdo the competition. It encourages short-term thinking. Salespeople may offer deep discounts just to win a deal, harming margins and devaluing the product. Teams may overpromise to close a client only to underdeliver to that same client later. Managers may set unrealistic goals just to look better than the rival company. These tactics may work for a quarter, but they erode trust, damage culture, and weaken long-term results. Internal benchmarks should be built to reward consistency. When we ask, how can we be 10% better this month than last month, we create a cycle of steady improvement. That builds strength. That builds sustainability. It creates a solid selling environment. The sports world provides another great analogy. In running, swimming, or gymnastics, athletes often compete against their own best times or scores. The most respected professionals don't always win gold medals. They do break their personal best. That's how excellence is built. That's how world records are set. In sales, our personal best may be the number of quality meetings we set. It could be the speed at which we follow up, or it could be the simplicity and the clarity of our value proposition. By keeping the focus on personal records instead of public rankings, we sharpen our skills. We can stay grounded in and on what we can control. This control is another key benefit of self-competition. We can't control what our competitors do. We can't control the market, the economy, or our clients' internal decision processes. But we can control our preparation, our outreach, our follow-up, our messaging, and our attitude. Nick Saban of Alabama football fame said, focus on the process, not the outcome. In sales, that mindset wins. If we do our job well with discipline and purpose, the outcomes take care of themselves, not by osmosis, but through the disciplines of thought and action. Self-competition also encourages humility. It reminds us that we are a work in progress. No matter how experienced we are, there's always room for growth. That humility makes us better listeners. It makes us more coachable. It makes us more open to change. And those qualities of humility, a growth mindset, and coachability are the traits that build. These are the traits that separate great sales teams from average ones. Carol Dweck coined the term growth mindset. Her research reveals that people who believe they can improve through effort outperform those who think growth is based on talent alone. A self-competitive culture will build that mindset, and it will be naturally occurring, whereas a highly competitive Shark Tank-like environment may implode. Focusing on internal competition means setting goals based on past performance. If a seller booked $100,000 in revenue last quarter, their next goal might be $110,000. If the average deal size was $5,000, can we push it up to $6,000? If our close rate was 20%, can we aim for 25%? What are the skills we need to make that happen? Can we refine our discovery calls or improve our proposal quality? These goals are real, measurable, and tailored to our current state. They aren't based on what someone else is doing across town. They're based on what we can improve. It also helps when coaching salespeople. Instead of saying, why can't you be more like Jane, who closed 3 big deals last week? A better approach is, let's look at what you did well last week and build from there. When people are pitted against each other, it doesn't bring out their best. People perform better when they feel seen, supported, and challenged by their own progress. This creates a healthier culture. It is one where improvement is a shared goal, not a race to outshine each other. As we know, culture is not slogans plastered on a wall. It is how your team feels about the world and their place in it. There's a broader benefit to the organization as well. When every part of a sales team is focused on personal growth, the whole system improves. Instead of one person winning while others struggle, everyone moves forward together. Departments communicate better. Teams share best practices. Managers lead with insight rather than pressure. It has been said that a rising tide lifts all boats, and that is what we want in our sales organization. We don't need a series of individual heroes. We should strive for collective excellence. That is how goals and budgets are met and exceeded. Companies that track progress against internal goals and customer outcomes outperform competitors, including those who place the focus on competitive benchmarking. This is according to the Harvard Business Review. It is not that external data is useless. It can be helpful to know the landscape, but the real power comes from mastering your own territory first. That includes understanding your customer journey. It means refining your sales process. It means cultivating the team's skill set. When we compare ourselves to others, we risk losing our identity. We chase someone else's goals. We adopt someone else's tactics without context. And we may even forget what makes us unique. In selling, uniqueness is a strength. It is what allows us to stand out and deliver something valuable. By focusing on internal growth, we sharpen that uniqueness. We don't try to become a copy of a competitor. We become a better version of ourselves. It's also worth noting that many of the most successful companies didn't win by being better than the competition. They won through differentiation. Southwest Airlines didn't beat American by flying the same route. They won by super serving a niche and a need. In doing so, they created a new, low-cost model that for a good while was the envy of the airline industry. Netflix didn't out-advertise Blockbuster. They offered something different. Blockbuster failed to see it. Netflix evolved with consumer trends. They shifted the business model. Success often comes from inward innovation, not outward imitation. In selling, the same principle holds. If we build systems that fit our clients, align with our culture, and push our people to grow, we don't need to worry about competitors. Let them watch us. Let them compare themselves to us, because we'll be too busy getting better to care. As author and entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk put it, the only person you should try to be better than is the person you were yesterday. That advice may sound simple, but it is your power. It shifts the mindset from scarcity to growth. It shifts it from fear to purpose. And when an entire team adopts that mindset, performance follows. Markets shift. Buyer behavior evolves, technology disrupts, but the one thing that stays constant is our ability to choose what we focus on. We can focus on what others are doing, or we can focus on what we're doing. One leads to frustration, the other leads to mastery. We are not in a sprint against other sales teams, we are in a marathon with ourselves. And each step forward is a win. Each improvement is a win. Each lesson is a win. Each habit is a win. We are building a body of work, one that reflects our values, our effort, and our growth. When we look back a year from now, the real question won't be, did we beat the competition? It will be, did we become better than we were? Because better is the only race worth running. This is the lion you can outrun. My new book, 21st Century Sales Success, is now available on Amazon.com. If you like what you have heard here today, please consider ordering a copy or two. You can always send one to a friend. Go to cdmediaconsulting.com right now and follow the instructions to order.